And The Flash issue 791 is written by Jeremy Adams with pencils by Roger Cruz, inks by Wellington Diaz with colors by Luis Guerrero, and letters by Rob Lee. And this issue begins in the aftermath of the Fraction's ship landing as various members of the Flash family begin to ponder as to what exactly is happening. We then catch up with Kid Flash and Impulse, who gather intel on the ship, learning it's both frictionless and, as Bart finds out, unfazable. The two are then yanked back by Jay Garrick, who warns them that this is not an invasion, this is war. Meanwhile, Wally is racing around the city when he discovers Barry Allen holding Iris's body. Although Wally sheds some tears for his aunt, he convinces Barry to follow him back to his house, as the two are attacked by a fighter ship. Wally successfully manages to destroy the ship when we catch up with Jay, Wallace, and Bart, as they too are under attack. However, Jessie quick assists them and tells how she and Max had seen this scenario before during their quest to find Barry. On board the Fraction ship, it's quickly brought to the commander's attention that they have located at least 5 speedsters, of which he orders their capture so he can present them to the Empress as a wedding gift. We then temporarily catch up with Max Mercury, who easily incapacitates one of the Fraction soldiers, who evades capture by ending their own life. The Flash family then begin to coalesce at the West House, with everyone happy to see one another. That is, until Wally and Barry show up with Iris's body, as silence befalls everyone. The issue then wraps up with the reveal of a hunter the Fraction intends to send after the speedsters. Her name is Miss Murder. The plot now thickens as we get more information on the Fraction and exactly what it is that they want. Turns out they're after hydrogen and the minerals in the Earth's soil. We also discover that during their conquest of other planets that they take speedsters as slaves when they find them. We now know that they have traveled the multiverse as well, from not just Jesse Quick mentioning what happened in the Flash issue 783, but also the introduction of Miss Murder, who was brought from, quote, the dark world, i.e. the dark multiverse, and even just the way the character looks. I mean, she's even got a very similar, like, spiked visor worn by the Batman Who Laughs. And judging by the look of the costume, I'm guessing this is some variant of Dr. Light. I guess the Dr. Light Who Laughs, maybe? Which is all well and good, I just hope she's not as broken as the Batman Who Laughs. Also, the Flash family has finally come together at the West House, which means the next part of the story will most likely have the Flash family both strategizing and executing their retaliation. Because at this point, everybody's got a bone to pick with the Fraction. For some, it's as simple as, you come down to my Earth, in my city, and attack my people? I don't think so. While others, like Wally and Barry, will have, more personal stakes in the situation, considering what has happened to Iris. And once again, I'm hoping she's not dead, or will at least be reversed by the end of the story in some way. And that's another thing this issue does well. It shows us the stakes, because while the Flash family is basically free to move around and fight the Fraction, so many other people could be wiped out in the blink of an eye. And while the Flash family is fast, I don't think they're fast enough to save everybody, especially when we're dealing with a full-scale invasion. I mean, heck, just on the West family side alone, Jay is, stuck in this hyper time moment. Though I will say, using his last moment to pick up a tree and shield his family and friends was pretty badass. And this book has a lot of other great moments in it as well. And the way characters kind of break off before coming together is very interesting. Like with Jay Garrick, like, I don't know if it was, just happenstance that he came across like Kid Flash and Impulse first, or if he purposely went out and found them because he's like, okay, no, I, as the oldest member here, I need to go find and look after the 2 youngest. But either way, I just like how he's got this, sort of elderly grandpa-like role that he just has, with all these kids. And even when Irie rushes into his arms and calls him Poppy, it's like, oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Everybody loves each other. And it was also really sad seeing Barry Allen, just broken and untethered. He's a character that's now in a very vulnerable state, and it'll be interesting to see, which direction he's gonna go, because, he does have enough of a reason to want to go out and hit the Fraction as hard and fast as possible. So from here on out, is he gonna be able to collect and put himself back together? Is he gonna be a little unhinged, maybe potentially being a bit of a wild card in the game? He's a guy who's now in an emotionally vulnerable state, making him unpredictable. And I cannot wait to see what Jeremy Adams is going to do with that setup. And hands down, the best moment in the entire issue is when Wally takes out one of the Fraction soldier ships. I mean, that dialogue and the way it was drawn was just mwah.
Lay down your arms and prepare for capture. First time on Earth, huh, pal? Enjoy your visit.
And another thing I think this book does well is striking a balance between its comedy and serious tone. For instance, the scene where Kid Flash and Impulse are around the ship trying to get some more information, and Bart's like, all right, I'm just gonna try to phase through it, and ends up bouncing off of it. Even after Kid Flash told him, hey, this ship is frictionless. And I guess you could argue, would have been an inkling that Bart should have heard, oh, maybe we can't really do anything to it using our powers. But still, Impulse is impulsive, and even given us some nice heartwarming moments, like the gathering of all of the Flash family at the West House as they're just happy to see each other since this whole thing started. They're giving hugs to one another. But then we are reminded of the stakes when Wally and Barry show up with Iris. And effectively, all of these components allow the story to breathe. Because back when Jeremy Adams first jumped on the Flash, one of the things I feel like he struggled with the most was locking down that tone. Whereas some stories felt like they were maybe being a little too serious without really giving them as much breathing room in between, while other stories were too light and too comedic, and it kind of changed issue to issue and, really lacked a consistent tone. And at times where it probably should have been a bit of a more serious tone, but the way Wally was acting and played things off as a bit of a joke. But this is the issue that feels perfectly balanced all around. And as far as the art goes, it continues to get the job done for me. I find that each panel, at least for me, perfectly encapsulates the action that's happening within the sequence. And in some areas, I might even argue that it is an improvement over the first issue as well. Because as I said in the last video, this more animated cartoonish style, I think, fits Jeremy Adams' writing better than Fernando Pesara's art did. And overall, I think it's another fantastic issue that manages to keep me engaged and makes me want to go out and read Part 3. And I'll tell you, I need Part 3 yesterday. And with that, I'm going to score The Flash, issue 791, a 10 out of 10. Oh yeah, we've really hit a high point and peaked here. So The Flash, issue 791, what did you think about this book? If you've read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what's to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.